All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Primo Calcio. Gonna have a little bit of a weekly update, a lot of transfer happenings in Serie A, and the Club World Cup we will briefly go over for a little bit. I am Michael here with Anthony. How's your week going?
Week is great. Yes, work and family stuff is good. The footballing world is just boring right now. It's just boring.
No, you're not
Just
enthralled
rumors.
with the Club World Cup?
Totally bored of it. Don't care. Trying to.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sure it'll get more exciting as the tournament goes on, but for right now, it's just there's a couple teams going for it, and everyone else just laying eggs.
yeah, there will be a couple, like, I'm sure there's a couple gems of matches that will maybe happen later on. But I saw half of one of the games that PSG played
Yeah,
to Botafogo. I think what they played Botafogo, I believe. And the second half was pretty awesome. I think Botafogo won that one 1-0. They played lockdown defense. They played fantastic. It was
yes.
nice to see a small team take it too. But um, yeah, that was really all I've seen. I have not been very interested. I've seen some highlights of it. Saw a little bit of Messi action. He's still class no
Yeah,
matter how old.
yeah.
Um,
I like the three old guys that make that team competitive against a bunch of these new young guys.
who they
It's
got
great.
right now?
Yeah.
They're currently playing Palmeiras right now. They're up 2-1. Luis Suarez got a goal. What is
As far as
it?
Messi and what's his name? Busquets.
Busquets. Look at that.
Yeah.
They're linking back up
Yep.
together. How
Yep.
about that?
It's beautiful. Yeah, it's
Right?
wonderful. I like to see the old guys. Don't know how far they'll go, but
Yeah.
they've been one of the better teams so far, and you know, to, the old guys are getting it done, man.
Right?
I
Not
dig it.
bad.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, that part of it's cool. I mean, the other MLS teams are stinking it up as expected.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll talk briefly go over standings. We'll discuss a little bit about it. I said I haven't really seen as like many full games. I've seen a couple bit part. I saw that half of PSG versus Botafogo. A couple little bit part things here and there. Have not been super interested. So Group A, Inter Miami and Palmeiras are leading right now. Inter Miami is ahead of them currently as well. So far Porto and Al Ahly are down, but a couple games to play left. PSG and Botafogo leading the way in the second group, but they're basically tied with Atleti Madrid, so that's kind of anyone's game there. So all on 6 points.
Madrid's out. Botafogo's in.
How's that? Oh, they're all on
Got, they
six
got a goal
points.
differential. No goal
Oh,
differential. Yeah,
they play what?
yeah,
How many games they play?
three.
All right, and then they
Yeah.
got Bayern, Benfica, and Boca is no Boca and Auckland are out. That one's pretty easy. I think
Well,
every
they're
group
not out
gets
yet.
one
There's
one.
only two games played in those groups. These are still to be decided here. So
Boca has one left then against
yeah, Boca
Auckland,
has
which
one
they're
left.
gonna win. I'm
Yeah,
sure they're gonna win that game.
yeah,
So
yeah.
okay, so Benfica may actually be out, but then it'll be all down to goal
Yep.
differential, and that's a long. They have a
Yeah, that one's still
7 goal
open.
differential. I don't know, man, 7, but it is Auckland City.
Yeah,
You
yeah, they
don't
could do
know.
it.
They
Auckland
could
City
do
has a
it.
negative 16.
Yeah,
Okay.
you don't. It's possible, man. I mean, they did not show up to
Negative
play, huh?
16. No, that's they're not coming back next time. That's for
Amazing.
sure.
Flamengo and Chelsea leading the way.
Yeah, the
Nice
Pink
in the
Flamingos.
LAFC.
Yeah,
And they got it.
yeah.
One more game
Well,
left
still,
there.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
they're
LAFC at the bottom.
they
No
might not
wins, no
be
draws,
locked
just
though.
losses.
Flamengo may
No,
not be locked, right?
Group D is still open at the top
Kind
three.
of
Yep,
him. Group E definitely still open. 4-4 and 2 points. They have one game left.
yep.
That's Inter, River Plate, Monterrey. Who does Monterrey play though?
Monterey plays St. Louis. San Luis. Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, Reds. Then
Yep.
Fluminense, Dortmund, and who's this team? Mamelodi Sundowns.
Mamelodi. The
Wow,
Sundowns.
amazing.
Yes. A beautiful sight indeed. And a beautiful team. The powerhouse.
4-4 and 3. I mean, they're in it. They're definitely still
Yeah.
in it. Anything can happen there. So that one's wide open.
And then
Group
this
G.
group's over.
Yeah, Juve
Yeah,
Man
the
City
Juve Man
done.
City. Yep.
Uh, I didn't think Al-Ain or Wydad would do anything. They're not any of like the bigger Middle East teams that have a ton. So,
No.
Madrid, Salzburg, Al Hilal. Al Hilal is
Still up.
still possible. Yep.
Yeah.
So they've got a shot here, and they're playing. Who do they play next?
Al
Who
Hilal
does
plays
Al Hilal?
Pachuca.
So they'll probably be able to win that one. So really, down to what happens
Yeah,
here.
yeah, exactly.
Hmm. Hmm. Very
Yeah,
curious,
I mean,
actually. I mean,
you know,
there's a
I'm
couple big games coming up here. It'll be fun.
yeah, the most exciting part. So I've been watching, obviously both the Juventus games, and the most exciting part is to see the other teams. Some of the European teams playing some of their young guys. How they're working into the first team. They're working out the kinks. But for the most part, it looks like the European teams are kind of out to lunch, and
South
some of these
American teams are
Brazilian teams
bringing
have
it.
been playing. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. South American
River
teams are playing
Plate,
hard, baby.
Fluminense,
Yeah,
Flamengo,
yep,
Botafogo, Palmeiras. Yeah, for sure. But I mean, there's so much money on the line. They could definitely use it and need it, which makes a lot of
yeah,
sense. Same
yeah.
thing for Juve actually, because they have a lot of debts to pay off. So I think that the
Yeah, we talked
Italian
about
teams
that
could
in
really
the.
use it.
Oh yeah, big time. We talked about that and I think it was the Juve breakdown where I said I think Juve are going to do well because I don't think any of the other teams are going to be trying nearly as hard because Juve really needs the money
They do need
and they
it.
got a lot to prove. Like Tudor is like luckily kept his job for him. Lucky for him, he kept the job, so he's run the same lineup both times. He's not even interested in trying different things out.
No, but
He's
I was watching some of the highlights and it looks like who's your guy's main kid there? Yildiz. Yildiz looks good. He
Yildiz.
looks like he's playing great. He needs to just keep playing and being like the guy, right? I know he's young, but he could develop into something special. He's a good player.
Yeah, I mean they in the second match especially they used him a little bit better. They dropped him off of the front line in the attacking zone. He'd play kind of between the midfielders and
I
and
like that
the
better.
forward
I think
line.
that's where he should
Yeah,
progress to in general.
he did great. I mean, he scored 3 goals. Well, they didn't give him one of them, but they said one was an own goal. But yeah, he got 3 goals basically, and
Yep.
yeah, he looked good. I mean, there's a lot of problems that Juve has tactically, but in the end, we're still better than the two teams we played. We'll see against Man City, but that's going
Yeah,
to be, I think, a very relaxed experience for both teams.
I will
I
check
think.
that game out. But yeah, there's nothing on the
Yeah,
line, unfortunately. It's too bad because I was those are two big teams playing, so I'll check that game out. But
yeah,
it is a bummer that there's nothing on the line. Would have been a lot better if there was actually something to play for.
yeah.
But I mean, it will still be interesting to see how the guys play. I would want to see maybe since nothing's on the line, some of the guys that you is maybe questioning getting back to the starting lineup play. So maybe some of the guys who let's see who is back now because you've got a couple guys back,
Rugani.
right?
I
Vigani's
want to see
back.
Rugani. I want to see Kostic. If those are the main guys I want to see because those are two players that can be more than serviceable this season. We don't have to spend any money to get somebody new. Plus, they have something that the rest of our team doesn't.
Yeah.
That's actual experience.
Tudor sticking with 3 men back line.
Yeah, yeah.
Then I mean
Tudor definitely.
Kostic could
Yeah.
really work as a wing.
Oh yeah, he's. I think he's just fine.
That
And
quality cross as well.
yeah, and I don't think I know Costa's been looking pretty decent, but I mean, the first game he was pretty good. Second game, not so much. But he's a young kid that isn't going to be a
Alberto
full-time
Costa.
starter. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. The problem is, he's young, so all the fans are going to love him because he's that's the big fad. Is,
Yes. Yes. Whoever's
you're 20
young, you'll
years old.
immediately get love. Yeah.
Yeah, you're anointed. So, and if you're old, you just suck. It's FIFA. It's a FC 25
That's
culture.
right.
But if I personally for like a proper season, when you get in the middle of it, you're going to need those experienced guys to bring you home. And I think we need to start seeing what Kostic has in the tank right now.
Yeah. Why not? I mean, so Costa's out there. Cambiaso, have they swapped him over to the right side at all, or has he just played left?
He played the right side in game one, I believe it was, when they brought Nico on as the wingback.
Okay.
So he's playing both sides. Yeah,
Okay.
that's good.
Good.
He should.
He
I
should.
prefer him on the right, but he's starting on the left and moving to the right.
I'm
And
just
then for
glad they're at
some
least playing
reason,
with both sides because it does open
yeah,
up these kind of tactical issues with Juve. If you can actually start playing him there, it really kind of opens them up better, in my opinion.
well,
You have more options
that's
now.
part of his value too. This is
Yep.
a true two-footed player. That's part of his value.
That's your
You
style.
got to play to his strengths. And the big shock has been that Kelly has been starting and playing every minute of every game, even though we have Rugani
Yeah.
and Gatti, who's trying to come back from an injury, and he has not looked good since he's been coming back on as a sub. It is tough to sub on as a defenseman, yeah, but he seems to step behind in all his challenges, and he's trying
Got
to
you.
still play like he's yeah.
Yeah.
So he needs to get in these games and start playing. And I don't know why we're investing any time into Kelly. He's just not a good player, and we have Rugani right there.
Yeah.
It just seems absolutely insane to me.
Here's my
But
question to
it is
you:
what it is.
what young guys is Juve playing right now to get some experience? I mean, especially against like Widad and who's like Al Ain. I mean, these two teams are not good teams. Like they're not like they're not like some like big money Saudi teams that are like have like a all star set of lineup. Like where are the young
It goes to
guys?
show. That's a great question, and this is exactly my point. I think before we even started this tournament, is this is a tournament where every other team we're going to play is either going to be way under talent, less talented than us, or not going to give as much of a crap as us. The three guys we've been playing, and we've been playing them mainly out of necessity, is Savona. Well, Savona's been playing strictly out of necessity.
Mm,
Yildiz is he's one of our good young players, so we got to play him.
yeah,
But then Acosta. So those are the only three guys we've been playing. We brought a bunch of them. None of them are getting on
Yildiz.
the field, even as subs. So it's
Okay.
not
They put
we're not
Savona in the
we're
center.
supposed. Yeah, no, he's been okay. The
Okay.
problem is, no, he's looked good, but he hasn't been tested. We haven't played any good teams. Like the
I just
teams,
want to see
it's
him
been a
like
joke.
develop, and I'd rather have him just play where they think he's going to actually
Well,
play long term, which
you're
should be
not
on
going
one
to
of these
develop,
sides.
dude. You're not going to develop when you don't have a midfield in front of you, and because they've been playing McKennie and Turan both games, neither of them are
Yeah,
defensively or tactically sound. And you have Kelly and Kalulu next to you, and they've both been horrible. So it's been a tough task for him for sure, but he's done pretty well. So I'd like to see more of that, but I'd like to see him on the field with an actual experienced defender. I'm just wondering where Rugani and
mm.
Gatti are. So that's been a big
Yeah.
issue for me. Locatelli's coming back from injury.
They've subbed in Gatti, Locatelli, Koopmeiners, Vlahovic, and Gonzalez. Zero young
Yeah.
guys.
All their subs have sucked. Koopmeiners and Vlahovic have been
That's
horrendous
been
each
no young
time.
guys. Like where's
Yep.
Mbangula, who was quite good when he actually played last year? Where's the young guys?
This is Tudor is absolutely terrified to lose. So against these horrible teams, he's
Yeah,
playing. He's treating
he's
this like
making
it's a
sure he
Champions
gets
League
that
game.
like
Yeah.
3-0, 4-0 win. Make sure you
Yes.
get it, huh?
And even though these guys aren't playing, like Nico's been bad, Dusan's been bad, Coop Miners has been bad. Even though they've been Gatti's been bad. Even though they've been bad,
Still plays
he
though.
keeps putting them on. Yeah, because those are his safe choices, and
Right.
that's what I don't want to see. Right. That's not what this whole
No, can't afford to do that.
season
Yeah.
time of the year is supposed to be about. This time of the year is supposed to be about testing out those loan returns, testing out those young kids, see if anybody makes the cut. I mean, this is
Hmm.
just sports 101. Every team operates like this, and apparently we're not. It's in the end, it's probably hard to get motivated. I mean, the stadiums are always half full, and you know,
Yep, there's been
no one
a
cares.
lot of flack about that, which makes sense. Yeah, it's the stadium's not being that popular. I mean, let's see what happens later on. I think this tournament's just a strange thing in general. Like it's if it was truly about giving the other teams like a chance, then I would get it. But it seems like a lot of it's just politics and cash, and it's not really about
It
like
is.
seeing the best of the world. They promote it as this, and I think that if it truly was that, it actually would be a pretty smashing success. If it was actually like, hey, you know what, we're gonna do something like uh Champions League, but with the world, and it actually was just that, and it was based off of just merit, and there was no other politics at play, then I get it. But it's just not like that. I think that's what everybody can kind of see through it. It leaves a sour taste in most people's mouths. But there's still something to watch, so people will kind of tune in. But it does. Nobody's gonna go buy tickets and fly across. I mean, at least not a lot of people will, which is probably why you've not seen this full stand. So
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm the. We're both super fans, and we're not going to go fly. We're from Detroit. We're not going to go fly to Philadelphia or Washington D.C. to go watch an exhibition game.
nope,
I'm not going to do that. You know, I don't even care like the ticket prices, flight, whatever. I don't want to take the time to do it. It's not worth my time. So I'm not.
no.
I'm not going to go.
Honestly, the only reason
You
I'm
know.
actually even catching some of these like halves and whatnot is because it's free on the Zones like app. You just download that and it's free. Or internal.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm watching
Yeah.
it. So they did a good job at actually. If they didn't offer that for free, man, I bet you viewership would be in the gutter.
I totally agree. I wouldn't watch it at all if I had to subscribe to another damn channel.
Yeah. So yeah, I definitely would not pay for a subscription to watch this stuff. But hey, it's there. We'll see. Maybe once it actually gets to
Yeah.
the knockout phase, it's going to be a little more interesting. But that is pretty much that. I am
Yeah.
curious to see how Juve plays here. We'll kind of see. I haven't really been watching Inter. I
Inter
mainly just
struggled
follow them. So
in game one. They didn't look great in game one.
Inter just see what
Game
they just like
two,
exhausted. I mean, they played what Ural and they won 2-1.
Yeah, game two. Game two. They hit, that was a late goal too. Late
Yeah, it
goal.
is. Oh
So
my.
that was
Carboni.
yeah that
Hey, look at that.
yeah. He looked good. Carboni
Yeah.
looked good. Yep.
Oh, they were behind,
Esposito
huh?
had some good
Look at
linking.
that.
Oh yeah,
Watanabe goal 11th minute, 78th and
yeah, dude.
92nd minute. Oh my
They were
god.
stinking it up. Well, I mean,
Look at they played here though. Aslani, Zalewski in
Aslani's
the midfield.
yeah, Aslani's a bad player. He's just bad. I don't think Carlos Augusto's a good defender. Um,
I
Darmian
mean,
doesn't want to
look
be
at
there.
this. This is weird.
Yeah, these aren't the tournaments you play Darmian. Like Darmian is a good player for when you really need, to lock something down or whatever. He
Armin's just
come
a big game player, man. That's he's smart.
yeah,
He had to play
he is,
against
and
the
he's
Ural
old now.
Reds.
No, yeah, he doesn't want to play this game, dude. Like this isn't like
Also, how
he's
much life do these
so
guys have
annoyed.
left in them? Like you know that they were really
Right.
playing like at a high level because like they had a shot to win
Yeah.
a possible treble. But now that they don't, are guys like Darmian and Acerbi done? I think for the most part, yes. I think Darmian has a little more to give, but I don't think that they're going to be top class anymore. I think that was a huge season for Inter that
I
they
agree.
failed entirely. So
I
they
mean, I
need a
will
little
say
revamp.
Barella was really good. Barella was really, really
He's
good.
still in his prime. He should be good.
Yeah, he was
He's
very good.
the best player they have if he's not like tired.
Yep. And Enrique's trying to figure it out. He's trying to fit in. Esposito had a rough first game. Second game, he looked good. Martinez is, solid. Um, they, they're they're trying to
Mm,
figure it out. They got Kivu, on the bench now, so
yeah,
they're coming off a tough end of the season. I mean, that's hard to
hard to
lose
come back
all the
from.
things they
Yeah.
lost. Yeah, it is. It's so. I mean, I know that people are enraged or whatever, but this is just normal things that happen with the team. If you've ever been on one, you
Hmm.
understand. It's they'll bounce back eventually, but hopefully sooner rather than
Yeah.
later if they're planning on achieving anything. But
There's
I'm
just so
not.
much cash at hand where they have to like at least do this. The Italian teams do
Yeah,
need this. So I mean they don't make a
yeah,
ton in comparison. I mean there's some stats out there where like just the promoted team from the EPL from like the second division it makes more than any of the Italian teams. So it's
yeah.
wild. It's absolutely wild, and they need everything they can get. Honestly the only merit to this tournament is because they're throwing so much cash at it. That I
Yes.
mean it's more than what you can make winning Serie A. It's more than what you can make winning the Bundesliga. So yeah, if you win this, it actually matters for your budget and your progress. So I
Yes.
get it from that standpoint. Um, yeah, I guess that's kind
I
of
mean,
my thoughts on the Club
yeah,
World
nothing
Cup.
really else to say at this point. I mean, I think we covered the bases on this tournament.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, I just think if you're starting up, trying to kick this thing off and really drive hype for it, I have no idea why they put it here. Um, and I don't know. We just don't care about the sport enough to have an event like this here, and I think it could have gone off a little bit better, but that just goes to show they don't, it's just
Yeah, the US has so many other sports that they're into. I mean, it
yeah.
is growing, but I mean, like to run it here, I don't necessarily think it was the best idea.
Nah, I mean it's kids aren't going to
It's
go outside
it's
and
not
play
ready
soccer
yet.
tomorrow because yeah, they're not going to get their buddies together and go kick the ball around the soccer field tomorrow because they watch Club World Cup. Sorry,
No,
that's just not going to happen.
no.
They're still going to go out and play football and hockey and basketball.
One last thing I will say, actually, I meant to say this earlier was, obviously the South American teams are showing up, the Brazilian teams for sure, and in that little bit that I did watch of the PSG Botafogo game, they kind of see like Botafogo played so compact, organized, and just well in general. It was nice to see, and their team's mainly Brazilian. They obviously are more like bonded because of that. It was nice to see a team like that compete with the team who just won the Champions League. It wasn't like PSG wasn't trying. Like PSG's players were trying. Maybe they weren't top level, but they had all their guys out there. They're actually trying, and it kind of just made me think. Barring like the outliers here, like the teams that are obviously terrible, like Auckland, there's not that much difference on the whole in world football because I think that's something we always talk about, and a lot of the older players like Reece Edvard and guys like that will talk about. These players are becoming very much robotic. Like they're taught the same thing growing up. They are a lot of their creativity is taken away from them after some time. They're just meant to run a lot, be more like basically be more and more stamina athletes, have some good skill, work on this, work on that, and all the players just one and the same, barring a few very special players and those kind of outliers. It is unique seeing this. And it's like, oh man, the South American teams are showing up. Well, maybe they're just not as bad as people think they are in general. Maybe Europe is just put on a pedestal because that's how it is and they have the most money. That was kind of a very interesting thing I was thinking about the other day, and I think you may agree with this, but it just doesn't seem like there's that big of a gap. And I think that maybe now more than ever, coaching is like extra important because most of these players, I'm crappy to say, are just robots, barring a special few. I
Well, we
don't know.
talk about this all the time. I mean, there's very few actual world class players left in the world anymore. I mean, you just probably count them on one hand. That's
Like
just
true world
the,
class
the
players. Like I mean,
the
top
quality of the
top
game
class.
is just way lower than it used to be, and that allows teams that are that do have some national pride to put something together in an event like this. So that has kind of been cool to watch. But for our teams, Juve and Milan, I think that as bad as our team, I mean, we look at our teams on paper and go, these are some of the worst teams we've ever had. But then you look at the other teams, even even teams like Barcelona, PSG, you're like, well, they're not that good. They have some pieces, but they're not like that much. You're not looking down, like how Liverpool used to be in the 2000s when they had like Gerrard and those guys, or Manchester United with
Yeah,
Rooney, and
you're not looking
you
at
know,
Barca
like
with like Messi, Suarez, Neymar, like
yeah,
who else was it? They had
Iniesta,
Xavi,
Busquets, and
Iniesta. Yeah,
Xavi, and with Mascherano in defense.
no,
I mean,
you're not
those were
looking at
amazing teams.
yeah, look at that like
Yeah,
'06
yeah,
Milan with like Nesta, Maldini, Pirlo, Gattuso, and Inzaghi,
yeah.
Kaká. You're not looking at that team. It's different. It's
Those
a
world
different level
class top to bottom.
at the bottom
Like,
and the
yeah,
subs.
now it's like PSG's got one, like maybe one or two world class players on the team, maybe. I think Vitinha, if he puts together a
Yeah,
couple more consistent seasons, yeah, but like, who's world class in that team? It's just a good team that works well together. They're well coached.
right.
This is,
Kvara has to
it
do it, in
just
my
goes to
opinion, for a few
show.
more seasons. Like he's had what one amazing season at Napoli,
Yeah,
and then a half like bad season, and then a half good season at PSG. That to
yeah,
me is not enough, and maybe I'm harder than most people. That's not enough to call somebody world class. You need a few seasons, in my
no,
opinion, in a row.
no, yeah, no, he's not world
Consistency at the
class.
top is world class, right? I mean, like, so yeah,
Yes,
even he's not there. I think Vitinha can definitely get there. He's a guy who I immediately see that with. He's just very composed every single game he plays. But same thing, a couple more years of that, and then I consider a guy like that world class. So yeah, it's not there's not that many I truly consider top class. But yeah, it's interesting and it's kind of fun seeing these teams compete when people probably
yeah.
thought that the Europeans would just walk through everybody.
Which
Unique.
it just proves a theory that we've had, I think, for some time, that it's not that far. Like, the ceiling isn't A plus anymore. The ceiling is B plus. So even though our teams are C plus now, we only have to go up like one grade to get there. So
Yeah,
it's not that unachievable. And this is, I think, why we really stress, like, just build a solid core, get things, build some culture, build a team that has some actual damn pride, and it'll come together.
yeah.
It really will.
If you actually have an identity, an idea, some culture, and that's most of your team, and you buy maybe three-ish world class true top talent players, and that's all you got on your team, three, maybe four, and the rest is just a nice core. You've
Yeah,
got
take
that's
them
all
one
you
at a
really
time when it
need.
feels right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all you really need to compete at the top every year. So it's not that far away. It's not like that like unachievable height. So that's
It's
what
not
club
unachievable at
this
all.
tournament showed me. So
Yeah, and Italian clubs can totally get there, even making less, because
even without the money,
they don't have, yeah, they don't have to go against these these teams are not stacked like they used to be. So not to reiterate, but that's I think this club this tournament's kind of showcasing that at least a little bit.
yeah, I think that part is good. All right, let's move on to some of the main transfers and the main thumbnail that we kind of listed for. So we'll kind of start with those ones. Let's talk about the one exit here first, and then we'll go with the possible incoming. Okay, we'll talk about the one exit here, which would be Theo Hernandez. He's going to be leaving. Looks like they finally convinced him to go to the Middle East. He was kind of holding out for maybe a European team, talking about Atletico Madrid, stuff like that, but didn't seem to be going his way. So Milan is finally going to offload him. Some of the figures, it's hard to really say what he's going to go for. Some of the figures have been around 30, 35. Some were initially around 25, so they were thought even less, but his value just plummeted. I mean, his performances the past year and a half, ever since Maldini was axed, he's just gone down and down and down. You could see it directly. And yeah, even the rumor with the swap with Cambiaso, or he goes across for Dusan, none of that has materialized. It looks like they just want to straight up sell him, and that's it, because he will be entering the last year of his contract. So Milan does need to sell right now, or he does walk for free. What do you think of this transfer?
Well, it's interesting who Milan is blaming for their woes, and I don't necessarily disagree with cleaning house if that's what they're going to do, but I mean, every game that you guys really did major turnarounds, he was one of the catalysts for those. So you are losing, you are losing a big time player for your club. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of his. Don't like his attitude, don't like his style, but he makes plays, man. He takes free kicks. I mean, he's a skilled player. He's pretty good. It's who are you going to replace him with? Who's your actual option that not now you have a hole. So we'll see what's being done, but that's to me that's a big
I,
that sends a message.
I think it's actually a pretty big loss, right? Because I mean, he was one of the guys who, when the whole like Milan actually finally turning over a new leaf and becoming a good team happened, that was back when Elliott took over and they had a really bad salary cap, so they had to make a lot of bad like basically we couldn't keep a lot of guys that we should have kept, namely Kessie, Donnarumma, and Çalhanoğlu, and that obviously they went for free because we just couldn't offer them more salary. When that happened, though, we still built a team, and the very first piece that was purchased, the very first one that Maldini went out to go get was Theo Hernandez, right? And he came in, and instantly he was a hit. He is one of the few world-class players. His attitude sucks. We all know that. But as you said, if he has 5 minutes where he actually cares, just like Leao, he can turn a game around on his own, which you just don't. There's not a lot of players like that out there, and I think it's a huge loss because you can't replace him that easily. Milan actually had a really good player under him, which was Milos Kerkez. They let him go way early because they wouldn't give him enough PT. So he's out now. He's rumored to be going for a lot of money, and then the Cambiaso thing is not going to go down. They've been looking at Ndoye, but I think he's too expensive, so I don't think they're going to get him. I mean, I just don't think that they're going to get anybody to really replace him the right way. The next link was with who's Lazio's player?
Which one?
Wingback, left side. Nuno
Tavares.
Nuno Tavares. Yeah, they've been linked with him. I just don't think any of those are going to happen. I think Milan's going to save a ton of cash. They're going to get somebody who's average, and they're going to just basically do what they're doing with Reinders. They're going to sell off their best player, just like they did with Tonali a few seasons ago. They are going to sell their best player and replace it with average, and they're going to keep doing that. They're going to do it with Reinders, they're going to do it with Theo, and whoever else they sell. They've never really upgraded yet, and that's pretty bad. So I think this is actually a loss for Milan.
No, it is. It's definitely a loss. He's one of your best players. He's been one of your best players. I don't think he's world class anymore, just based strictly on his attitude.
Yeah, for sure. His performance last year was terrible.
And the team lost its structure, it lost its core, it lost its soul. They sold away. Anytime they have someone that does well, they get rid of them. I mean, this is the problem that Juve has too. It's small club mentality. We're selling clubs now, and selling clubs are not top clubs. They're just not. And if this is how our clubs are going to do business, and the standard there, and the problem is the fans are so desensitized now that they just accept it, and it's like, oh, that's cool. It's like, no, man, this is not okay. They're not okay for clubs like Milan to sell one of their best players. It's not like a critical thing that they need to do. Yeah. They need to put talent around them. And they need to bring in a coach that's competent. They need to actually have a club that builds from within and doesn't sell away all their pieces. So this is just where our clubs are at now. I mean, we're operating just like we're, no offense to these clubs. I like these clubs, but what, like a Lazio. It's like, Lazio when they have a good player, they sell them. Atalanta, when they have a good player, they sell them.
No, Milan is acting exactly like they're not acting like a Scudetto fighting team. They're acting like a team that wants top 4. That's it.
Yes.
That is not what they should be. They're acting like a team who's like the Napoli of old before the current one. They're acting like the Lazio that's like level. And I said nothing against these teams. We like these teams. However, that's not what our teams, Juve and Milan, should or used to be. So yeah, it is definitely a standard change. I think that was very intentional by the management, because if they recondition the fans to think that that's okay, then eventually they'll think a 4th place is like a win, and they'll just stay here forever just raking in that cash.
But they have reconditioned the fans to think that, because I think we brought it up in our end of season cast. Look how much the Juventus fans celebrated Locatelli's penalty to get us into 4th place. We went apeshit. You know how sad that was? How depressing that was?
It's true though. I mean, because the swiftness in which fans turned on Theo, like, guys, he's had one really, really bad year, right? And you could see why. Like,
Yeah.
he doesn't want to be here. The team is shooting for nothing. There's no motivation anymore. So, what do you expect them to do? I bet you if you
I'll
actually
fry
built
him.
a real team, like built a real team, a class team, put some class pieces there, have a real coach now, and you say, nope, this is your year now. Welcome back. The cancer's gone. At the top management's gone. I bet you he'd play great.
He's
But
a
you don't
class
have
player
that.
that belongs on the top team. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's
So
true.
he had
Yeah.
a choice now. Go. He was trying to wait out for like Atletico Madrid, play for a real team, or make a shit ton of money. And obviously, the offers weren't coming in for him to go to like Atleti or a team like that. So he's like, well, I'm gonna make a bunch of money. There you go. Those are your
Yeah.
choices.
Yeah. Exactly. This is where we're at now with our clubs. It's just we have to accept it. I guess just like all the rest of the fans have done.
Yep.
We're just a little bit behind, I guess,
Yeah.
behind the normies.
Well, we'll see who they replace him with. That'll be the next question. I don't think they're going to
Yeah.
land any of their main targets. Let's
Well, that's not the only
move.
guy they got rid of though. They got rid of another key
Yeah.
piece.
Grinders.
And
Yeah.
this is just case in point of
Amazing.
what the standard of the club is. Like
Yeah.
Reinders was an amazing find.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm incredibly anti Redbird. I'm even anti Elliott. I've been since they got here, even back when Maldini was here. I like what Maldini was doing, but it was obviously under this kind of like caveat. I've always wanted Elliott out and Redbird out. However, when they make a good transfer, they make a good transfer. Pulisic and Reinders were great transfers. They just were. Gotta give them credit, even though I don't like the management. They made good transfers there, and they just literally go around and just sell their best player, basically the second best
Yeah,
player of last year. I thought Pulisic was overall better, but still, because his value increased enough to sell. Went from
it's just
20-ish
all
mil to
money.
70.
It's just all money. If they can make a profit, sell them, bring in someone cheap, and try to do it again. This is what small clubs do, and this is a shame. It's a real shame to see this
It's
because
awful.
you're not going to build. You're not building right now. You're taking two steps backwards, one step forward every time.
I think it's even
You're
bigger than
not
that.
going
I
to
mean,
replace Teo and Reinders now.
no, but you look at like who Milan sells. Like they wouldn't renew Kessie for the extra mil. They would have Frank Kessie. They sold Tonali. They have Tonali and they have Reinders. That's a world class 3-man mid. It just
That's
is.
awesome. Yeah, it's an awesome midfield. Yep, yeah.
Yep. You go bring in Modric to be like a small piece. You start bringing up your youngsters like Liberale and Zeroli to back them up. Now you got a full midfield. You're done.
Yeah,
You don't need to do anything else. You already have those guys. You don't need to buy or sell or wheel and deal. Just keep them. That's what a top team does. Now it's just dismantled, and we have Loftus Cheek and Bondo and Fofana. Zero class in that midfield.
wow, that's so
That's a
bad.
10th place team midfield.
Wow, wow, what a shame.
Yep. All right, let's get off Milan here. Let's go Napoli. Napoli, Dan and
Okay, good,
Ndoye.
good. Yeah,
All right, so I like this link here. Dan and Ndoye to Napoli. Been a big
yep,
fan of his. He just keeps getting better and better. He's still young, 24, gonna turn 20, 25 in a couple months here. This is the perfect time. I think he's gonna really fit Conte's system because he's a talented winger with assists and goals. He creates space and he works his ass off. I think that's very
yeah.
important. He's a hard worker.
He's a hard worker. He's tactically alert. I think a lot of these players have no idea where to stand on the field. He's one of the better ones at that. He certainly a little bit of room for improvement there, but he's definitely one of the better ones there. And yeah, he makes big plays in big games. He
Yep.
puts in a solid effort, and under Conte, I think he's going to really thrive. I think it's a great fit.
I agree. I mean, if you have Dan and Doy, you have Neres, and you have Politano as your wingers, then I'm not sure who else they have out there. Maybe like a youngster they might bring up. That's a really good winger core.
Yeah, that's excellent.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Plus, he can also slide inside as well. He's not just isolated to the wing. He can swap to both sides as he's done. I'm
He
sure
can
he
also play
can
both
play as a
sides. Yeah,
second
that's
striker or a CF or a cam.
yeah.
I'm sure he's a pretty flexible tactically player. So
Yeah. Yep. It's excellent.
yep.
Excellent pickup.
Napoli, what? Because they got Marinucci. They are
Marinucci.
keeping Zombo. That was
Yep.
big, right? Is that like official? We think close to.
Yeah, that's official. That's official. He renewed, I guess. And then they've been very very close to Lorenzo Luca, which I think is an excellent
I think
choice.
that's great. I think it's great
Yeah.
because he's kind of. I mean, he's nowhere near Lukaku's quality, but they're gonna want him to do the same things: hold up the play, bring the other team in, get a big goal, use your physicality. There's not a better player to learn from right now in Serie A, but to do that besides
Right.
Lukaku, it's perfect.
Well, and there's not a better coach for young Italian players. I mean,
For
if
sure.
if we didn't have Conte, at Juventus, I mean, eh, people don't remember Chiellini wasn't some amazing defender back then. He was rash and kind of a slob, and it wasn't until he formed the BBC that you know that really put us to the next level. Same with Marquisio. I mean, he's really good with them, and then he did with Inter with Bastoni and
Yep.
Barella. I mean,
Yep.
he put them to the next. I mean, that's why they are where they're at right now. So
Now, this is very
he
good
has the
from
ability to do
an
that.
Italian point of view, like from the
Yeah,
nazionale perspective, which is something that we're very focused on this cast.
yeah,
I really now just want all the talented young Italian guys to go across to Napoli so they can actually progress
yes,
and grow. And I think it's great that Luca's going there. I think Moise Kean is by far our best shot at having a top class
yeah.
striker, but I just don't think he's going to stay around Serie A. Despite some of the links within Serie A, especially to Milan, there's no way they're going to spend that cash. I think he's gone. I think
No,
Luca's a great choice for Napoli.
yeah, and Fiorentina would rather sell him to the EPL than to one of their domestic
Of course.
uh,
Yeah.
competitors, anyways. So that's just that stupid mentality that's really screwing us too. But
What a
yeah,
bad
no,
mentality. Like I get it. Like you don't want to strengthen your rival, but it's like you're also hurting your country. Just saying offload them, see you later. It's it's how it goes though. It's been they've been doing that
well,
for than the beginning of time. So it is what it
yeah, and
is.
how's it been working out for him? How much better have they been for that?
Not at all. They're the
It's
same
just so
level,
screwed up. Yeah, it's just so screwed up.
same level they've always been. But
Yeah,
no,
no,
I think
I like
Luca's a
what
great link.
Monopoly's doing. I
Who
like what
else
Monopoly's
are they
doing.
linked with?
I mean, there's a few more, but those are the only ones that I would say that I feel comfortable talking about. It gets messy when you start digging down deeper. Even
You
Luca's not
know,
a guarantee, just
Luca's not a
supposed.
guarantee. Ndoye isn't a guarantee. Let's round out with this one then
Right.
because it kind of goes between two of the teams. If they don't get Ndoye, their backup right now is what it's listed is Chiesa, who right now the big link for Chiesa is Milan. That's been the one they say, oh, there's been very strong contact with right now. He's been talking positively about Max. Um, as an aside, funny how back when he was on Juve, they said, oh, he's got problems with Max. He's playing him out of position. He doesn't like him. And obviously, there's no animosity at all. Max wants him, and then he's only had good things to say about Max when they've interviewed him. So obviously, that was all BS propaganda stuff
Yeah.
just to make UA fans okay with getting rid of Chiesa.
Yeah, that was the Giuntoli factor. I mean, ever since actually, really, it's just the way Juventus has been doing business ever since Dybala. Every single player we've gotten rid of since then has always been the biggest jerk, wants too much money, hates the coach, doesn't want to be here anymore. Every single time.
Yeah,
No, with very very few exceptions. So, I mean, if you keep believing that rhetoric, you're just crazy. So, no, I'd love to see him go back and play with Max, but I'd really like to see him, especially in Napoli. I think Chiesa has, even though I thought he had a good comeback season after his injury with Max. Um, and then he had just a real horrible season with Liverpool, which in the few minutes he was on the field, he had an impact for sure. So I don't know why he didn't get more playing time, but I think he's just ripe. I mean, it's make or break it for him right now. His
it
back's
is.
against the wall.
It
His
is.
career's against the wall. So I don't think there's any better time to pick him up. I absolutely would pick him up. He's still our
He's not
most
going to be
talented
very
attacking
expensive.
player.
I mean,
Yeah,
like, if he comes good, he's actually one of the top class players out there. Truly,
yeah,
like if he comes good and if he can stay healthy, which I think he probably will. Hopefully, he's that's a guy I'm willing to take a shot on. Like, and he's not
yeah,
that expensive. I mean, he's a guy who's literally his max value was around 70 mil back a few years ago. Like,
yeah.
yeah, he's worth almost nothing now. If the teams can secure a loan with obligation, which I know that they're looking for, it's a no brainer. I
I agree.
mean, it's so I
I agree.
think that if from a Milan standpoint, they should even wait. Just sign him. You actually have one of the rare chances to sign Class on a massive discount. And if Ndoye doesn't go through, I think they're 100% going to go get Chiesa. Conte's not going to
Yeah.
wait. Conte's a smart coach. I think if they don't get his main target, they're easily going to lock down Chiesa if Milan does not strike right now.
Yeah, and Mana and Conte work very closely together, so I
Yeah.
think they have a real good harmony there in Napoli.
I mean, he's 27, about to turn 28 this season. He's still got some really good years left. You could probably get a good 4 to 5 years out of Chiesa. I'm
Yeah.
thinking so. Um,
Well, I
I would
want to
do
see
it.
what Marianucci does with Napoli next year. That's a big one for me. I want to see how much playing time he actually gets, and I want to see how he does because Empoli was really struggling when Ismaili went down, and when he came and Marianucci came on, it was like problem solved. He fixed the defense almost
Well,
single handedly. So
and it
he's
looked
really
great.
stepping up.
when the main three played, VT, Marinucci, and Ismaili, when those three played, it
Yes.
actually was a really solid back line. Probably one of the
Yep.
best in Serie A. So
It
I
was
really like that
statistically, yeah.
combo.
Yeah. No, me too. So I want to see him play. I think that would be. I think he's a good counterpoint to Buongiorno too with his play style as well. So we'll see.
Yeah,
He's
yeah, it
someone
should
that
be.
gets flies under the radar quite a bit, and I don't think he should be. I think he's one of the better young Italian defenders we have.
I think it's a really good pickup. It's not expensive. I mean, they struck before the value is going to go up. Like right now,
Yeah.
there's all this a lot of transfers links between Camuzzo, Leone, guys like that, and those values are just going up and up and up as
Yep.
teams tend to do. You just can't do that. If you have any inkling as to what a player's going to be, you just say, all right, this we would like him. Let's sign him. Boom. You take a couple days and done. You don't wait it out and hope there's a better deal out there because the value's just
Right.
going to go up. And you're going to get screwed and you pay triple the amount you want to pay.
Yep.
Yes, the last thing I'll say about him is Gattuso wants him on the national team, so he's kind of come out and said no, we need to get him playing again because he realizes the class that they're missing without him. They
Yep.
don't have a player who can really like take on their man and beat them,
No.
right? And he is one of those guys who can do it. Probably the only one Italy actually has who can do it right now.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems like all the old good players can see it, but the fans can't. So that's what does Gattuso, Chiellini, what do those guys know? Pirlo, who won him in the first place? They don't know anything.
No, I think that it's a big year for him, as you said, and especially with the national team call, it is definitely the time to pick him up. He's got every single reason to be motivated. Um, any other big time transfer? I think maybe the kind of free transfer action with Jonathan David. I think
Oh yeah,
the
the
the Juve
Juve.
access is heating up a bit, right?
No, I wouldn't call it heating up. We still don't even have a sporting director, but we have agreed, I guess, to terms with Jonathan David for 6 million plus 2 million in bonuses, but we haven't negotiated with his entourage, and
Gotcha.
that's the issue.
Any
Yeah, I
idea
mean,
what they're gonna charge? 'Cause, I mean, that's been a massive thing
I,
with a lot of Serie A teams is they're unwilling to pay like agents and entourage as and then the deal goes or falls through.
honestly, it doesn't really matter. If their ego gets bruised, they'll walk away all pissed off. I mean, Kamoli's been dragging his ass on just about everything, so we'll see. The big thing really is he going to keep Colo or Conceição? To me, it's no brainer
Hmm.
to keep Colo, but
So is,
yeah,
is that- is that a
that's
thing? They can only keep one.
yeah. Apparently, they can only keep one. Maybe
Gotcha.
they can. I mean, this is a crazy foreign term for our team. For a long, we don't negotiate with anybody. We just take them at face value and we sell them at bottom of the barrel prices. So we seem to continue to be doing that. There's been some links about like we're definitely going to be getting rid of Bangula. We don't want him apparently, even though he's probably our best winger
Probably why he's not playing because they
this
don't want
year.
to risk him getting injured
Yeah.
and ruining his market value. So like, here you go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, yeah. I mean, to me, he's someone we should keep. He was super effective every time he came on. But we don't like to keep our own homegrown players, so that's fine. Um, yeah. I doubt we're keeping Rugani. I mean, if he hasn't touched the field, then there's no reason he hasn't,
I mean,
especially over
why would you get rid of him?
Kelly.
He's cheap. He doesn't have a high salary. He's a great backup. He can start when you
I,
want him to. Like he's starter capable, and I'm sure he doesn't mind being a good versatile backup either. Why would you
it's
ever
the
get rid
young,
of him?
exciting. It's the young, exciting player whose value is going to grow, so then they can sell him when he's good. It's
Yeah,
the
but they had a
only
defensive
mentality.
crisis last season.
They don't care about that. They don't give a shit about the team. They just want to make sure they bring in a team players good enough to get top four. So if you can make money on like Rugani's like his value is not going to go up. He's
No,
not going to skyrocket. So whether he's good for the team or not, they don't care. He's gone. They're just going to bring in some young guy that can increase in value, and then they can sell him just like they did with Milan, did with Reinders.
right.
That's what they're
I mean,
trying to
I don't
be.
disagree that's what they're going to do. I really don't think that they should get rid of him.
No, they should. They absolutely.
It
If we
makes no
actually cared
sense even from
about
a
being
financial standpoint.
successful, if we actually cared about being a successful team, we would keep him, but we don't. So he's going to be gone, and pick up some hot name or something to sell jerseys.
What is his? I got the
That's
salary thing up here. I don't even see what he makes here.
yeah. We still have
Oh,
Moretti, who
here we
hasn't
go.
touched the field yet either, by the way.
That's surprising. Moretti's got a lot of
I think
talent, man.
he might be injured. I don't know. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt on that one
His
because
net
that
is
one doesn't
two
make any
mil.
sense.
Rigani's net is 2
Up,
mil right now.
sell them, ship them,
That's too much. See you later.
ship them. Yeah,
See you later.
yeah, I know. We're like with the and it's not we're naming names. Everyone knows Juventus fans know who they are. But we've been like with a
Yeah,
bunch of average center backs too. So it's not like we're like
of
looking at
course,
world
of
class
course.
solutions. Yeah, the best one that I've heard is Balerdi from Marseille.
Hmm.
But I mean, I like him, but he's not like some great defender
Right.
that's going to make the difference, But I mean, we have Lloyd Kelly, so we're set, we're
Yeah,
good,
you guys are good.
and Kalulu. Yeah, we got Kelly and Kalulu. I mean, the way they read the game, I feel safe
Yeah,
back there with
and
that
honestly,
defense.
you really don't even know how Bremer's going to come back. Is the thing, like
Right.
because and truthfully, if you don't give him time, you're going to risk re-injury,
I
and that's a huge
totally agree.
problem. The amount of times they do this to defenders is way too much. Like look at Scalvini. I knew they brought him back too fast. He wanted to
Yep.
play. We called this thing a while ago. Like I don't like it. Just make him sit down the next 2-3 months and do rehab. Get into some soft games. Don't bring this dude back. He played hard. Like he was just going in for slides, doing his thing. Boom, couple days later, injured again, out for the
Well,
season.
he injured something else, but I
Still,
don't even know if that
like
was a
your body's
collarbone,
not even ready. Like it's just
dude. I
not
mean,
ready.
well, here's the thing: they said it was a collarbone. You could play with a collarbone. I mean, people play hockey and football with collarbone issues. I mean, and those are games where you get directly hit in that area.
Yeah, who knows what it
You
actually
can,
was? Maybe it was actually
yeah,
a re-aggravation of his old injury,
I
which would
think it
scare a lot of
was.
teams off. So yeah,
I
who
I
knows?
think it was. They were really quick to announce he was done for the season, and there was plenty of season left. I was like, that's fishy to me.
I mean, these ACL injuries and PCL injuries are just not good ones, especially as youngsters. I mean, you saw what it did to Zaniolo, one of the brightest talents out there by far when he came out. And first injury happened, wasn't the same, but was starting to get back towards being a good player. Second injury, done. His career has just totally spiraled.
Yep.
Done. And you're starting to see it with Scalvini. Not there yet. He's still got a chance, but I mean, if he doesn't come back from this one strong, I think he's done. Like I know
Yeah,
he's
no,
still
this is
young, but like the writing's on the wall that he's going to be that injured guy.
Bremer's without a doubt our best player. And if he goes down, if we go down that same road with him, we're going to be in big trouble.
Yeah.
And not only that, but we totally screwed our any sort of resale value we're having him. So we need to proceed as if at some point in the season he's going to get injured, and we need to have adequate replacements.
Yes.
The back line that we're starting right now in the Club World Cup, and the fact that he started it twice in a row and we had other options scares me
Yeah.
because that's a horrible back line.
You need to
And I
keep
like
Regani.
Savona, but he's never going to improve
You have
with
to
two
keep
idiots
Regani.
next to him.
He's a steady
Yeah.
Eddie. He's versatile. He just
Yeah.
plays his role very well. I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't. He's not even that old. He's 30. I mean, it's you really need to keep Regani. We'll see
Well,
what they
and
do. I think they will. I think they'll keep him. I think they'll keep him. I don't think they'll sell him,
well,
but I think they'll keep
tactically though, with the way Tudor plays, with his everybody overlapping,
him. Yeah.
and, everybody getting into the play, everyone attacking, Savona just standing back on defense by himself while Kalulu and Kelly both run into
I
the
love
opponent's
love that
box.
style of play.
That's
Great.
yeah. So then again, I can understand maybe why he is not playing Rugani if he's going to think that that's a good idea. But it's working against some of
Hmm.
these minor league teams here. But we'll see. I wouldn't waste too much more effort on the Juventus transfer market because it's all just
Yeah.
if someone makes us an offer, we're going to take it because we're desperate and we do bad deals.
No, we'll kind of do another recap once there's actually big dealings
Yeah.
made. Once kind of this settles too, as we'll do a lot of Mercato stuff. But once the dust settles a bit and we know what these teams are going to be, then we're going to really break down. All right, what are the coaches going to do? How they're going to do it? Player rate or transfer rating stuff like that. But let's just see what develops. The Club World Cup was kind of finally starting to reach its swing. The Mercato is starting to finally heat up. So we'll have more news in a couple of days. That's all I've got for today. You got anything else?
No, I think we covered all the bases there.
All right, well, everybody, thank you for joining us for a little update here. As always,
Like and subscribe.
like and subscribe, and
Yeah.
Forza Calcio. Yeah, and like and subscribe. He says.
Like and subscribe.